MC, I have something super exciting to share with you guys today. So a few weeks ago, I got an email from a company asking me if I'd take a look at one of their PC cases. And initially I was gonna say no. One, I hadn't really heard of the company before, which huge mistake on my part. We'll circle back to that later. But also, lately I've decided I don't think I want to do PC case reviews anymore. Not for any particular reason, not that I'm against them, just cases are big. They take up a lot of space and I don't have a lot of space to store it. But then I went online and looked at this case and realized it is something so different, so exciting, so unique that I really had to get my hands on it. That still left me with the problem of what to do with it when I'm done. Well, that's easy. We'll just give it away to you guys. We're gonna do things a little differently than our typical videos, besides the giveaway. See, I'm not usually the big unboxing reveal type creator. I don't find they add a lot of value. But with this case being so different than anything I've ever built in, I thought it would be worth it to capture our authentic reaction to it. Plus, I want you guys down in the comments to let me know exactly what you want to see us do with this case. We'll pick one winner from this video's comment section, and whenever we're done with our final project, we'll be giving the case away. Again, we'll have a few more details at the end. Before we dive into the case itself, let's talk about SSUPD, also known as Sunny Side Up. They're a relatively new company gaining a lot of traction for pushing the boundaries of small form factor PC building. They're known for creating really innovative designs that prioritize both functionality and aesthetics. And while this may be their first foray into full-size PC cases, they are clearly not afraid to challenge the status quo, which is something I really appreciate. Oh yeah, and by the way, you might have heard, they're the sister company of Lian Li. What does that mean? Well, it means they share the same supply chain and manufacturing, which makes me suspect the build quality on this thing is gonna be top-notch. Now let's talk about what makes this case so special. As you can see here, actually, you guys probably can't see. Let me get this tempered glass panel off and get a motherboard installed, and it'll make it much clearer exactly what is so cool about this. Hold 1 second. Now, I think it's pretty obvious, but let's get into what makes this case so unique and different from anything you've seen before. So first off, it's obviously a dual chamber reverse case, but it's not just any reverse case. It actually supports a standard reverse case layout, which would be in this orientation, where your motherboard is upside down, you route your cables out of here, but it comes pre-configured and set up to run like this, where your cables are actually routing out of the top. And that is something incredibly unique that I have not seen before. I'm really looking forward to building in it. I don't know about you guys, but I'm the kind of person that really geeks out over having something different. You know, it feels like everything today is just the same fish tank case. I've made points about that in previous videos. To actually have something so unique. I know I keep overusing the word unique, but just different. Not to mention, while I do have a standard motherboard in here, this case is also compatible with all the different rear connector standards as well. So if you want to put some time and effort into this, you can have something that really stands out from the rest of the crowd. Go ahead and get this other tempered glass off. So the tempered glass, it has obviously front and side tempered glass. To remove it is really easy. We're gonna have a full tutorial video on this stuff later. But right now, today's just kind of the overview and contest announcement. But to remove the tempered glass, you would obviously take this off. On the top, there's also this cable cover that helps hide everything. When it comes to cooling, we have 3 pre-installed 120 millimeter fans right here. There's also room to house 3 120s at the top and 3 120s in the front. As far as radiator support, we can do a 360 on the bottom and a 360 in the front. And if you're gonna go with an air cooler, The clearance is 170 millimeters from motherboard to case. One thing I am interested to test in this case is once it's all built out, what's the airflow going to be like? There isn't an issue with number of fans, but placement in this smaller case, it's a little tight. And I'm kind of worried about maybe getting some looping air currents, maybe exhaust and intake getting cycled, and you end up kind of just cycling the same air over and over. That's definitely something we're going to want to look into when we're building in the case. I haven't heard anyone else complain about it, but it's this area right here that has me concerned. So these 120s, especially if you have a radiator right here, see if I can show you guys. Yep. You guys didn't think there was actually anything in those boxes, did you? So my concern, you can see, so if you have your radiator mounted right here, and then you have 3 120s behind your radiator, you'd probably have this set as exhaust, but you are blocking much of the intake from this third fan right here, and you're exhausting all the cool air that you're pulling in before it really has a chance to circulate. I'm curious to see how that's going to affect thermals. That's something that we'll need a whole build in here testing. And again, if that's something you guys would like to see, let us know down in the comments, and maybe that's a project we can work on with this case before we give it away. There's also a mounting point for another 120 millimeter fan right here in the back to help with overall airflow. It's a small concern, but it's something I think I'd be aware of. Just paying attention to how the air is flowing inside the case when I'm building. While we're taking a look at the back, let's talk about power supply, cable management, everything like that. The case supports up to 190 millimeter power supply, and as far as cable management goes, I don't really see any issues you would have. It's not the roomiest case in the world, but there's more than enough if you can manage your cables just a little bit. That's a little tougher if you're using a rear connector motherboard, but I can tell you from having played with the Asus GT302 case, that's an issue with pretty much rear connector cases in general. They're just, when you have the thing sticking out the back, it's just not a lot of room. If cables are that big of a deal to you, you don't really need to go with rear connector motherboard to try and hide them. This case is, that's what this thing is for. It is designed to showcase your core components and hide the ugly crap you don't want to show. I love it. I think it's such a neat, innovative idea. Let's take a second to talk about the overall build quality on the case. I mean, it's what you would expect. Being the sister company of Lian Li, sharing the same supply chain, sharing the same manufacturing process, I would expect this case to be good. And at 140 US, which is what it retails at, it damn well better be good. And it is. Like, it meets every expectation I would have. All the corners are rolled. There's no sharp edges, nothing to snag anything on, nothing loose, nothing rattly, no unnecessary flex. My shake test, you can kind of hear wires rattling because it's not built, but like the case overall, it's solid. As far as dust filters go, pretty much everywhere air can get in. There's dust filter here, dust filter here. There's this dust filter on top, and there's a magnetic dust filter for the back. Overall, it's just a really solid entry from sunny side up. And if this is what they come out with on their very first full-size PC case, can't wait to see what the future holds for this company. I want to get this thing all back together and then kind of go over my ideas of different projects I want to do with this case. Give you guys a chance to give us your thoughts down in the comments. And then also we got to go over the exact details of this giveaway, right? Okay, so ideas of what to do with this case. I have a couple. First thing that pops to mind is, look, while the case is designed to do like this, go on the left side of your desk, I actually think it looks pretty sick if it's like this and just flat up against the wall. But there's a problem. Your AIO is going to be exhausting this way. You assume your monitor is right here. Now you're dealing with hot air exhausting into your monitor. It's probably going to get caught, redirected to you. First thought of a project is I want to 3D print something for the back to redirect airflow. Maybe just a little shroud, something like this. Not really sure. And then maybe doing some budget builds with this. Though it feels weird to do a budget build in a $140 case, because if you're building a budget computer, $140 should not be going towards your case, right? There's plenty of cheap budget cases out there. The problem with doing a high-end build is sourcing GPUs right now. Like, I have the same issues you guys have. There's the same amount available in stores by me, same amount available online. So we're a little limited. which is why instead of doing a full build right off the bat, I brought it to you guys. I want to hear from you guys. Let us know down in the comments. What we're going to do is we're going to take one comment from this video, not necessarily the comment we select for the build, just any random person. I have a little program that'll do it for me. And we're going to give this case away. Now, it won't be until we're done doing whatever our next project is with it. But yeah, that's it. No strings attached. Drop a comment. Let us know. We'll select one random lucky winner. Until then, as always, thanks for watching, guys.